Welcome to another Demarcation Media action figure review, I think. So today's video is a special video because this is a collaboration with All Things Halo. All Things Halo is an Australian-based YouTuber who focuses more on the Jazwares side of things, and he also does like news videos about not only just Jazwares, but he's covered some Mega Construct stuff news-wise, and also other various Halo merch and stuff. So this video is in collaboration with him. I had a package sent to him with a Mega Construct set for him to review, and he had a package sent to me that I think contains some sort of Jazwares figure, but I have no idea. And also, two packages arrived in my P.O. box at the same time, and I think this is the one from him, but I'm not sure. So we're going to open both on camera. Also, freaking Amazon and their rings of power. I'll show you what I think of your rings of power. Anyway, I don't need to go into that. Yeah, so let's get this one out of the way. I think this is the correct one. Again, hate the rings of power packaging. Hate the show. But, you know, that's a whole aside. Now, this one, I think, might be from Funhole. I'm sure you guys will remember them. But again, I'm not 100% sure, so I wanted to open them both on camera because I didn't want to accidentally open the one from All Things Halo, thinking that it was a different package. Oh wow, this is a thick box. This is almost like a haul video as well. Of course, this probably would have been ideal to keep my knife out, but... Oh, wow. That looks pretty cool. But, anyway, that is another video entirely. Just wanted to make sure that I was opening the right package. So here we go. I hate this packaging so much. I want to burn it with fire. Toss it into the fires of Mount Doom where it belongs. Yes, in case you can't tell, I am an avid Lord of the Rings fan. So, the Rings of Power makes me mad. Anyway, I think... Oh, wow. Okay, wow, we've got two things in here. So, we have a little note from All Things Halo. And then we've got two things in here. We have this, which is a 2-pack, which is the Flood tank, which looks absolutely disgusting. And then the Halo 2, Halo 3 Master Chief. Oh, there's like the flamethrower, like what Series 5 Chief has. Very cool. And then this one is the Jazwares and Hyperius 2-pack, and then there's Active Camo Master Chief in there as well. So I guess probably what I need to do is do 2 videos here. And I guess we'll start off with this one. So I guess this video will be the Flood Tank and Master Chief review. So let's get in a little closer. So up until this point, I had only gotten the single pack figures for the smaller scale. Actually, I had only gotten single pack figures for the bigger scale as well. So this is interesting. Actually, wait, no, scratch that. What am I saying? I got the UNSC Checkpoint set, which I had to then return because the figures just absolutely fell apart. So hopefully we'll have some better luck here. I was on the verge of giving up on Jazwares completely, but we will give them another shot today thanks to All Things Halo. Packaging looks good, as always. I think Jazwares has it down for the packaging style. Although I will say the photography on the back here kind of looks like they did flash photography, and I don't think that's entirely, what's the word that I want here? Entirely flattering to the figures. I think it makes them look a little bit too bright and odd. But that might just be me personally. That's not how I would do those photos. All right. Oh, we have some infection forms too. Interesting. All right, so... Whoa, the stands are purple? How am I supposed to get this off? There we go. The stands are purple. Very interesting. Is this supposed to be like inside of a Covenant cruiser? I don't know. Oh, there's even silver dry brushing on it. All right. Very odd. Here's the flamethrower. Again, they do suffer from... All of the Jazwares weapons suffer from the mushy weapon syndrome. Although this is a fairly solid piece in general, so only thing that's really bent out of shape are the little, whatever you want to call those, heat shields. There is Chief. Looking kind of cool, actually. The first photos that I saw of this guy definitely did not make him look right. But we'll get a closer look in just a second. Let's get the flood tank out. Holy moly. Oh, all the infection forms came out too. Wow, that is a very unconventional action figure. I'm not even sure which way his little foot here is supposed to point. Wow. Okay. Oh, he's got like an ab crunch. He stands up fairly well, actually. And then we have a bunch of infection forms that are all rubbery and gross looking. Very cool. So let me go ahead, get Chief his flamethrower, and we will take a closer look. So we will start off by looking at Master Chief. So he's got the purple stand, as we saw earlier. It's got some dry brushing, which makes me think this is supposed to be maybe the floor of some sort of Covenant ship. Maybe it's supposed to be the floor of High Charity. I'm not sure. And then Chief himself is kind of like the Jazwares version of the Series 5 Chief from Mega Constructs. He's got the flamethrower, the battle damage. Now, I'm a little confused when it comes to the flamethrower. He's got this nice big handle on the back and he can grip it pretty well. But this front handle is super small and it just kind of floats in there. So you kind of have to turn his hand down like that for him to just kind of rest it in there. And that looks, I don't know, it looks odd to me. I'm not sure why they chose to do that, why they didn't just give it a big handle there. Yeah, I'm a little confused about that. I'm not sure what's going on there. The flamethrower itself looks pretty nice. There's a lot going on. We've got some warning symbols, lots of silver, and kind of a darker silver and gray. There's some black for the hoses. We have the shark face on there. These things are very springy. Gray for the nozzle there. Unfortunately, we don't get any sort of way to attach a fire effect, but it is a very nice looking weapon overall. Again, it does suffer from the gummy weapon syndrome that Jazwares still hasn't been able to fix. I just think they need to use hard plastic for the majority of it. In this case, you know, the pipes and stuff, probably as soft plastic is good. And then that is a little weird. Why didn't they give it a full handle? Chief himself has more articulation than the Infinite Chief, which actually I have right here. I still have to fix his leg, but I gave him the wash treatment, which actually I may end up doing to this Chief, because I think this armor would look pretty good that way. Are they different heights? They are. That's weird. The Infinite Chief is almost a full head taller than the Halo 2 and 3 Chief. Very odd. He didn't get taller over the years. I wonder if Jazwares is just kind of changing up their scaling in general. Huh. That's interesting. But we have way more arm movement. Like, he can actually T-pose, whereas this chief can only go up to here. Come on, buddy. Stand up. Come on, both of you stand up. So that's nice. That's a nice thing to see that Jazwares is considering now. They easily could have made the armor go up too high. But that's a nice range of motion. Get a full spin here. The bend at the elbow is pretty nice. I am a little confused as to why they don't just do double joints for the elbows, because I feel like they definitely could, and it would work out. But better elbow bend than the other chief. Ab crunch is there, and it's well hidden, but it doesn't really add a whole ton to the figure. You can't really rotate with it much. It just kind of bobbles forward and back. The head can swivel from side to side. He can look down a little bit. He can look up a little bit. So not bad. Not quite as much as like what Infinite Chief can get. He can look all over the place, but it's not bad. And then he looks a little odd in the diaper area. It looks a bit large, but then again, this armor did kind of have that. Then down here, we got a little bit of white for like his lights and stuff. The knees bend pretty nicely. I do like how they separate. Got a little bit of green there. The feet can move forward and back, and then can swivel from side to side, but unfortunately there's no ankle tilt. The other chief had kind of an ankle tilt in place of the swivel. It was kind of a bit of both. This guy just goes for the swivel. I don't know how I feel about that. It looks a little awkward sometimes, because like if you're trying to get him into a wide stance, he can't really get his feet flat on the ground. So that's a little odd. I'm not sure about that choice. An ankle tilt kind of would have been nice here. Then the hands can just hinge forward and back. Detail-wise, he looks pretty good. The molding looks a little soft, but it's not bad. The visor is very sharp. It's incredibly sharp. I think it's even sharper than Infinite Chief. It's like absolutely razor edges. So that's nice. And like I said, I think with a nice black wash, that'll make the rest of the detail pop pretty well. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, he has a thigh swivel, which is always nice. Thigh swivel is always good, and you can move the legs forward and back. I had a EOD Spartan that when you move the legs back, the armor would catch and it would spring the leg back forward. But Chief luckily does not have any issues like that. You can get him posed up pretty well. He can't quite do the full splits, but that's pretty good. So something I discovered after kind of just playing around with this guy a bit is he can actually get down into that crouch sort of pose that we see in that one, I think it was a Halo 3 trailer, the one with the bubble shield. He like gets up after putting his helmet back on, and he kind of holds this crouch for a second, and it actually works out really well. So that's a kind of a big plus, despite my qualms with some of the way that articulation is. I really do like this. I think it worked out really well, and any figure that can get into a crouch is pretty decent in my opinion. So that's pretty cool. I just wish that he had the battle rifle, not the battle rifle, the AR, to kind of go along with it. Before we move on, real quick, there is the Mega Constructs equivalent, basically, to this chief. We can do the whole "don't talk to me or my son ever again" thing, assuming that this guy will hold on to his son. I'm not going to be able to do it from behind the camera. Gosh dang it. And here is a closer look at that flood tank. Again, there's a second stand. This guy looks like something that McFarlane would make, or maybe even like Mythic Legions or something. There's a lot of paintwork and kind of like gradients going on to make the gross biomass flesh look more realistic. There's a lot of kind of greenish color up here, and then it kind of fades this gross tan and then almost to a red down on the torso. And then we have the little feelers up here, all the little tentacles, and these are kind of rubbery, so you don't have to worry about breaking them too much. For posing options, we have both arms have the like shoulder joint, which the shoulder joint blends in pretty well. So you can kind of get that much. You can sort of make your flood T-pose. Then there is an elbow joint for as much as an elbow as this is. There's a swivel there, like so you can like turn it around and have it do other gross things. Bends pretty far. You don't need a full bend here. It's literally a tentacle of flesh. And then this one bends about this far as well. Also swivels. The molding is pretty good. It almost looks like wood here on the end. I guess that's his little stabby hand. He's got an ab crunch that goes back pretty far, goes forward pretty far. It is kind of loose though, so it doesn't want to like hold the top half up because the top half is pretty heavy. Like this is a pretty solid figure overall. Head has a joint, so you can make it look up like that, down like that, and rotate it from side to side. And then the legs have a ball joint for like the hip area, and then there is a double jointed knee. But the legs are such an odd shape, it's hard to figure out how to pose them properly. But that's just how these flood tanks are. And then there's also a hinge in there and a swivel, which I don't really know if there's a proper forward or back to these feet. I guess it's just however you can get it to stand, because these things are just so flippin' awkward. That's pretty impressive, I must say. This guy impressed me more than the other like 3-inch figures so far. I feel like extra effort was put into it. I do feel like maybe a extra finish of some sort would have been ideal to make the flesh really look shiny and gross. But as it is, I think this is a pretty good piece, and I think too this would pair really nicely even with some of the old McFarlane stuff. And then last but not least, we have some flood infection forms. Their legs are kind of rubbery. They're all positioned different ways. I don't know if that was on purpose or if that was just the way they came out of the mold or whatever. But they look very gross. They look like weird little party hats made of flesh. Got the little feelers on the end. Kind of a little more brown than we usually see them. But it has the same sort of like gradient all over it. I could definitely see people wanting to amass these same way people amass the Mega Construx ones, because they look pretty gross. There's Infinite Chief. You can see that for scale. You can have him stomp on these things. I think that's pretty good. These are nice extras to get. I did not realize that this 2-pack came with them at first, so it was a nice surprise. Well, there you have it. That is the Master Chief vs. Flood Tank Form 2-pack. So once again, big thank you to All Things Halo for sending this to me. As I said, this is a collaboration, so he will be doing a video on his channel. I will put the link in the description of this video and the other video. So go check his channel out. Highly recommend. So this set, this 2-pack is pretty good. I feel like it's a little different than what Jazwares has been doing. And the Flood in particular feel like they had extra care put into their making. There's definitely some weird bits with the articulation. I think the biggest offender in that case is the kind of torso joint. It's just too weak to hold up the massive bulk of the tank form's body. But paint-wise, it's really good. Lots of really nice gradients and gross detail. Like I said, a shiny finish to make it look extra gross would have been ideal, but I do understand this is just, it's not a super premium kind of collector thing, not like something like 1,000 toys, because my kind of gold standard for Halo figures is the 1,000 Toys Chief. Like, he just does everything so incredibly well, but he also does cost $100+. So in the case of a slightly cheaper and more accessible figure line, the Flood in particular is done really well. Chief, still, Jazwares keep doing things with their Spartan figures that confuse me, like articulation-wise. I think it would be pretty easy for them to get a double joint in the elbow, and it would be pretty easy for them to get an ankle hinge, like a side-to-side motion for them to pose better. Other than that, the Chief overall is pretty good. He has a very, I don't know, the way that they shaped him and everything, they looks kind of like they were aiming for a more classic feel, and I think they definitely got that. It looks like a Chief you might have seen back when Halo 2 or 3 first came out, albeit with better articulation, whereas this Chief definitely matches the newer, harder-edged look that games have now. I am a bit confused as to why this Chief is taller, because it's Chief. They're both Chief. And then I'm also confused as to why they didn't give the upper handle of the flamethrower like a proper grip. But I'm looking forward to putting a wash on this guy because I think he'll look really good with that. A wash and a matte top coat. I think the package showed like a single of Chief as well. You could just buy Chief by himself. And honestly, I'd say if you want to get Chief, definitely get this pack because the Flood add a lot. You have a whole battle scene here, and as opposed to, like just getting Chief on his own. But yeah, I can definitely see some improvements here, and I can definitely see some things that I'm still waiting for Jazwares to change. I'm looking at you, Gummy Weapons. But this Flood in particular really does impress me. This is pretty cool. I'm interested in getting this guy in some photos with maybe Chief, or, it would be funny. Where did he go? Maybe doing a photo with Tiny Chief versus Giant Flood. That might be kind of cool. Or if I wanted to, I could do Giant Chief versus Tiny Flood. The possibilities are endless. Or should I say the possibilities are infinite. Before we end off this video, just wanted to say that once again, this is a collaboration with All Things Halo, so click down into the description to watch his video. I'm really curious to see what he thinks of the set that I had delivered to him, so definitely go check that out. I think it's going to be a great video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.